Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? You guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Kaspa. Listen, there is some nice demand from the people. They want the Coinbase listing, right? This is not the first time I've seen a post. See, hey, Binance, hey, crypto.com, hey, Coinbase. Why are you guys not listing our beloved Kaspa? Everyone is wondering. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, right? Sometimes, things just take a little bit longer than expected. Sometimes I heard that these exchanges just simply want too much because they think they have that type of leverage over a project. Usually the case with meme coins because it's a meme coin of the day, but we all know Kaspa is the real deal. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people are excited to see how Kaspa is going to be doing over the next little while. I know price has been going down, but we will be discussing that in just a second. You know, Kaspa, you're killing it. Release the nodes, and we can see, oh my God, finally, we got some in Africa. I know for some time we didn't have them or they weren't visible, one or the other, right? And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, they're everywhere. Caspa's literally everywhere. It's oh my God, it's literally on some random island here. Someone is living right here. Someone's living on this little small random island. We can see, what is this, Alaska? In Alaska, that's so cute. Everyone has a different life experience, man. It's so crazy. It just really depends where you are born and the amount of wealth and everything. But that's a topic for another day, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I'm super excited to be announcing that Kaspa file storage launched. Right, Kaspa layer 1 service that writes data to the TX payload. The upload fee is only the miner's reward. Downloading is free. Old data can be downloaded from the archive node api.kaspa or this, right? And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, if we go and play the video, right? If I believe, yep. So it's going to tell you instructions how to do everything. So if you are willing to do this and you are open to doing this, then check it out for yourselves. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to dive into the technical analysis. This is just the final thing I want to talk about. On October 5th, the Kaspa network processed over 158 million transactions in a single day, nearly matching Bitcoin's total transactions for the entire past year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. According to the data from Y Charts and Glassnode, the Bitcoin network processed approximately 160 million transactions between October 5th, 2024 and October 4th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, we literally did 365 times the amount that Kaspa did, right? Am I getting this wrong or am I getting this right? No, because literally what we did in a single day is what Bitcoin did in an entire year. And I feel like I just did an oopsie with my wording 20 seconds ago. But yeah, Kaspa did what Bitcoin did, but in a single day, while it took Bitcoin a whole year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. Okay, if you cannot see the evidence that lines up for Caspa and the amazing future it has, then I understand. You might be blinded by the current price. Maybe you really value exchange listings, maybe you value other things, maybe you're just a little new to the markets. I understand. But guys, the data for Caspa is phenomenal, right? We're breaking records literally left, right, and center. Last time we talked about how we were having the highest TPS, the highest BPS. The proof of work was amazing, right? 5,584 TPS. This is from October 2nd, so this is some time ago. We already kind of discussed this, so we're not going to be jumping into it too much. When we go and look at some of the basics, we can see we are ranked up 51 out of 9,508 active cryptos. We can see we're just sub 2 billion market cap, 57 million volume in the last 24 hours. Like I said, we don't have Coinbase, we don't have Binance, we don't have crypto.com, we probably don't have a few other exchanges, but ladies and gentlemen, that is still okay because we have a lot of the other big boys that I also consider S tier, Bybit. Some people consider this the second best exchange now over Coinbase. So, there's always some debate there. We see in the last 24 hours, Gate brought us a lot of volume. So these exchanges are still doing us massive, massive service, right? Massive, massive service. So shout out to them. When we go and look at the markets, right, we can see, ladies and gentlemen, other than, shout out to my boy Zebek, the whole entire market is red. Even if we're going crypto bubbles, right? This is the top 100. We can see there's only two big greens, just one little green, and maybe one more little green that I'm missing right now. But overall, the market is red. When we go to the top 100 to 200, there's a little bit more green, but it's still generally red. So listen, this is not a Caspa issue, the fact that we are heading lower. This is simply the markets just selling off. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you guys probably saw that, right? But I am looking for a order potentially between the 5 and 6 cents, generally speaking. I do believe we will be going below this big, massive zone right over here, right? We did see a little bit of a sweep, right? We did see a little bit of a sweep right now. We did technically sweep this point, so we could technically start seeing reversals, but I think there's very, very high probability at the bare minimum we will go into this order block around the 6.5. Now we could potentially be looking to take out other zones as well. And me guys, for most of my CASP videos in the last couple of weeks, we have been fairly bearish. Anything that's been bullish has been generally short term. Because when we go and look at some of the, especially weekly candles, we can see we have been consistently forming lower and lower and lower highs, right? Lower and lower and lower highs, which means obviously that we are going to be going lower and lower. So this type of price should not be a surprise for most people unless you haven't seen the other previous Caspa videos or if you're new to this channel. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, I expect, some type of bounce probably off the 6.5 cents at the bare minimum. We could potentially take out the 6 cents, potentially snipe into the 5.5 to 5.7 cent zone. But that more is a huge speculation. This for me is almost a certainty because I still expect the markets to be generally bleeding out, and that includes Caspa. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys did enjoy. Love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, the time to get serious is now. The next few months are going to be the most crucial time of your lives. Okay. We're going to have crypto exploding, and this is the time to get a portfolio review. Right? You got to make sure you have the right cryptos. You don't want any old or dead coins, or you don't want anything that can give you little profits, right? So we provide a portfolio review. We've also been smashing it with the high probability meme coins. We hit an 11x, an 8x, and 5.5x in recent times. We also provide a weekly report on the crypto data, on the crypto analysis, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, on other altcoins as well. You get all this and a bunch more other benefits. Highly recommend joining the private community. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some money.